over a year ago, I made a video discussing the 4 most likely candidates to host the 2030 Winter Olympics. But since that video has come out, every single one of these regions has hit a major roadblock, making it unlikely they will see the Olympic torch burning in 2030. The International Olympic Committee's once competitive list has now fallen to practically zero. So what has happened, and who is going to host the 2030 Olympics? For the full story of the 4 former frontrunners, Sapporo, Japan, Salt Lake City, United States, Vancouver, Canada, and Barcelona-Pyrenees, Western Europe, watch that video. Because now we are going to talk about what happened to them. Firstly, the northern Japanese city of Sapporo was seen as the frontrunner, last hosting the games in the 1970s. But after a corruption scandal was revealed about the past Tokyo 2020 organizing committee, it is unclear if the high levels of public support are intact. In the accusations made, a member of the Tokyo 2020 organizing committee accepted nearly 200 million yen in bribes from Japanese companies so they could become official sponsors. This scandal has engulfed the makers of the toy mascots, the dressers of the Japanese Olympic team, and several major advertising firms. That executive has denied the claims. Sapporo has since put all of their promotional material on hold, and the governor of Sapporo's prefecture said that it will be difficult to build momentum with things as they are. Salt Lake City, the host of the 2002 Olympics, seems to be the most likely out of the 4 to still have a chance. Salt Lake City's aspirations to host the Olympics are high, but not for 2030. Los Angeles is holding the 2028 Summer Games, and back-to-back Olympics in the same country is a rarity. This is why the organizers of Salt Lake City have stated their preference for 2034 over 2030. Next to Vancouver, host of the 2010 Olympics and one of the to-be hosts of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Vancouver was looking to have the first ever Indigenous-led bid, with the city partnering up with 4 First Nations groups. But the bid practically fell apart after the government of the province of British Columbia stated that they are not willing to put forward the $1.2 billion in funding, an extra $1 billion in risk. And finally, Barcelona-Pyrenees. Now, this bid, as stated in the last video, was a bit unstable, and that instability led to its demise. The original plan to host the games in eastern Spain in the Pyrenees Mountains would have been the first tri-country bid with Spain, France, and Andorra. But taking a quote from the president of the Spanish Olympic Committee, he said, referring to the bid, "This one we have destroyed ourselves." Because of political infighting between 2 of Spain's regions, Aragon and Catalonia. Aragon wanted their parts to be split half and half, while Catalonia wanted to kick Aragon out of the bid altogether. So they were unable to find common ground. So with our main bids now unlikely, who's left? Well, it isn't looking promising. The International Olympic Committee has decided to postpone their announcement for 2030, first reviewing the effects of climate change on winter sports. This allows more time for more candidates. So far, the Stockholm area of Sweden is doing a feasibility study. And that's about it. There's not a lot of ambition to host. And that does make sense, as the Olympics are not cheap and have often lost their hosts billions of dollars. So to close, hello, I'm from the International Olympic Committee, trying desperately to find a candidate for the 2030 Winter Games. In order to look into studies involving how climate change is impacting winter sports and maybe having a pool of rotating cities so we don't have to deal with this disaster anymore, we are giving the candidates more time. As a study highlighted, out of the 21 past host cities of Winter Olympics, only 8 would be able to host in 2080 if Paris Agreement targets are met, and only one would be able to host if they are not. Because an even more limited field of candidates is just what we need. So what about 2030? Well, here's our options. Sapporo, Japan. Even though the public may not even want to do it anymore, there's still potential. Maybe the city will need to get used to hosting, since they are that one city who in 2080, without Paris Agreement targets being met, would still be able to host. Salt Lake City, United States of America. Even though the organizers have told us that they would much prefer 2034, we might just saddle them with 2030 anyways. Because, as they said, they'd be willing to do it if called upon, and we just might need to call them. It's only been 80 years since the last summer and winter games were held back to back in the same country. More than doable. Vancouver, Canada. There is still hope that the BC government will change their mind again, just like they did with the World Cup. Stockholm, Sweden. With the country last hosting the Summer Games over 100 years ago and never hosting the Winter Games, this could be Sweden's moment, their 9th attempt to get the Olympics. The International Olympic Committee. Watch the full video. But after, come back here. So we can go... No, I don't want to be one of those YouTubers. Come back here.